from the campus of California State University, Sacramento. This is Made at Sac State. Welcome to Made at Sac State, the video magazine. I'm Gloria Moraga. We are here to share the Sac State story and to celebrate the people who make Sac State what it is, to celebrate our students and the faculty who are preparing our students for the future. The College of Arts and Letters is dance, theater, music, art, and so much more. And let's not forget the letters part of the College of Arts and Letters. We have English, history, foreign languages, and more. And joining us now is Edward Inch, Dean of the College of Arts and Letters, and Nicholas Fletcher, who is a senior here at Sac State, majoring in communication studies with an emphasis in
public relations.
And what would you like to do? We'll start with you, Nicholas. What would you like to do with your degree? What are your long-range goals?
A long-term goal of mine for a while has been to be the White House press secretary.
And what are you taking? What classes are you taking here at Sac State to prepare you for that job?
Specifically, I'm currently taking a few public relations classes at the ones that you take at the end of your career here at Sac State. And so once I'm finished with those, I think that I'll be right there with the best of them, ready to go.
And how's your Sac State experience been?
Fantastic, actually. It's been a really fun ride. I've gotten to work on a lot of great projects with a lot of great faculty. I started doing debate, and that was awesome. I've been working with our director of debate, Kristen Tudor. I've worked with Dean Inch on a textbook. I've worked with Michelle Foss-Snowden and Dr. Irwin in the Communication Studies Department, and it's been a really great experience.
All right. Well, we're going to talk to the Dean a little bit about, Dean Inch, thank you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about the College of Arts and Letters for someone out there who's watching this. Fill us in.
Well, Nick gets at a little bit of that, is the college is this really terrific mix of programs that sort of cluster into three areas. We have programs that focus on students getting to know themselves and their history and culture, and that comes through programs in history or philosophy or the letters parts of the college. And then we've got programs that focus on expression, debate being one of them, English, foreign languages. How do we take what we know about ourselves and our culture and express those to external audiences, which gets into the third area of the college, is about engaging our communities. We put on more than 200 different kinds of programs every year, from stages to lectures to having a festival of the arts that bring people from the community to here. Our faculty, I'm always stunned by how much they and their students do things out in the external community that draw in different kinds of audiences and tap into the needs that the region has. And I think that's one of the great joys of working in a college like this, is it's always different every day. There's always something going on that draws students together with faculty and mentoring and kind of facilitating roles to create something special. And I think that's what makes us unique and interesting in this area.
Tell us a little bit more, and Nicholas, feel free to chime in about Sac State's connection to the community. For someone who's out there and says, what does this mean to me? Why is this important to me? Why is Sac State important to me? What's your answer back to that?
It depends on how long they have to talk. I mean, Nick talks about debate and what debate does, and you think about the role of teaching students to debate and be civically engaged about important issues in the world, and you bring audiences together to listen to conversations about significant subjects, to what we put on our stages in dance and theater. Our musical performances bring world-renowned artists here to perform, but our students and faculty are awfully good in how they do performances out in the community in the region, from second Saturdays to things that work with the Philharmonic or the opera, and we have students and faculty that engage in all those different kinds of ways.
Nicholas, final words here for any student considering looking at college, or what can you say to them?
You get a broad scope of education here at Sac State. If you are really the type of person who likes to really be engaged with your campus community and the surrounding area, then Sac State is definitely the place for you.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
For more on the College of Arts and Letters and this segment, you can log on to our website. It's csus.edu/made/TV.
2,330 hours from Johnston Island on
1963. It was a very historic year. History professor Joseph Palermo joins us to put the year in perspective 50 years later.
Hi, my name is Eliza May, and I'm an art major, and I'm made at Sac State.
My name is Ryan. I'm an English major, and I am made at Sac State.
A University of Alabama face-off. Governor George Wallace blocks the university door at the former all-white college. It's 1963. And thank you very much for joining us, History Professor Joseph Palermo here at Sac State. Take us through the year, historically, of 1963. What a year.
Oh, well, there's quite a few 50th anniversaries. One would be the Birmingham protests that took place in April and May of 63, where Martin Luther King is arrested in Birmingham. He writes the famous letter from a Birmingham jail. Bull Connor is firing the water hoses and letting the dogs loose on the demonstrators, and it put a lot of pressure on the Kennedy administration to do something comprehensive about civil rights, and it helped prod John F. Kennedy to introduce in the Congress a comprehensive civil rights bill that later would become the Civil Rights Act of 1964. There were 50 unsolved bombings in Birmingham between the years 47 and 65, and it was a very violent and dangerous place. And then coming out of that, Martin Luther King really became a national leader for the first time. In fact, with the Birmingham protests and then also the March on Washington that August, where King really got put on the map. He became Time Magazine Man of the Year. He was won the Nobel Peace Prize in 64. And in between there's a lot of really big events too, like the integration of the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, which required John Kennedy, to actually federalize the National Guard and strip it from the governor, because the governor was using the National Guard to prevent the two black students, Vivian Malone and James Hood, from attending the University of Alabama. And there had been a riot in September 62 when James Meredith integrated Ole Miss, and two people were killed, and there's a lot of people wounded. They didn't want a repeat of that in Alabama, so they managed it very carefully, Robert Kennedy being the Attorney General and John F. Kennedy being the president. But to have a Southern governor actually defying the federal courts was kind of an extraordinary event. But Wallace was forced aside, and the students did attend as the first African-American students to attend the University of Alabama. It's a very interesting story.
Professor Palermo, there is so much more to talk about regarding civil rights, but I do want to get through the year and talk a little bit about President Kennedy and the Test Ban Treaty and how important this treaty was for the United States and for President Kennedy.
Yeah, well, in June of 63, he gave a commencement speech at American University, which is one of his finest speeches, where he tried to step back from the Cold War. He announced a unilateral atmospheric test ban treaty the United States would follow, and then really pushed it really hard through the Senate to get the treaty ratified. There were a lot of opponents to it, but it was really a heavy lift by John F. Kennedy, and he was able to, in the end, win 80-19 vote in the Senate to ratify the treaty. And what it did was it kept the radioactivity out of the atmosphere. There have been 336 atmospheric tests done through the 50s and 60s by England, France, the United States, and the Soviet Union. And they were detecting strontium-90 in mother's milk and in children, babies' teeth, and it had not been there. There was atmospheric pollution going on, and getting this stuff out of the atmosphere was a very important ecological move. And it's also the first treaty signed between the United States and the Soviet Union, and it's the first ever nuclear treaty at all. So all other nuclear arms treaties that followed really had that as its precedent. That John Kennedy, he said it was his proudest achievement in the fall of '63, shortly before he was assassinated.
So let's go to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. It was a time in this country that brought us all to tears. Tell us a little bit about that last day. Share with us kind of his legacy.
Well, he was only 46 when he was killed, and it was a jarring shock to the nation, of course. And there's been a lot of public opinion about that event. When we have the 50th anniversary this November, there will be a lot of commentary about it, no doubt. And the American people really, according to opinion polls for about 50 years, have never really accepted the official Warren Commission report's findings. It's kind of, and I've always believed that it's because the accused assassin, Lee Harvey Oswald, was killed himself and there was never a trial. Mm-hmm. And so it kind of left a lot of open ends. So on the one hand, the Kennedy funeral was an event that the country hasn't experienced since, where a kind of a collective grieving process on national TV, 60 million people watching. But it's also a lot of unresolved questions about that will continue, I think. They've been consistent for 50 years and there'll continue to be questions about the circumstances of the whole assassination itself. Those won't go away.
Professor Joseph Palermo is the author of numerous books and articles, including 2 books on Robert F. Kennedy. The titles, Robert F. Kennedy and the Death of American Idealism, and In His Own Right, The Political Odyssey of Robert Kennedy. Thank you for joining us, and we promise we'll have more of Professor Palermo at our website, csus.edu/made/TV. And still to come, one of the most dynamic departments in the College of Arts and Letters, theater and dance.
My name is Eric Pace. I'm a graphic design student, and I'm made at Sac State.
Hi, I'm Kelly Tao, and I'm an organizational communications major, and I'm made at Sac State.
Okay, welcome back to Made at Sac State, the video magazine. Thank you both very much for joining us. Theater and dance, one of the most dynamic departments on campus. We have the chair of theater and dance, Dr. Melinda Wilson-Ramey, and Ure Egbuo. Thank you very much for being here. Before we get started on the interview, let's watch this videotape.
3 o'clock in the morning on weekdays, so I can drive 27 and a half miles across the bay before I go to work.
Oh, hell no.
Charming.
Charming.
But you are of no assistance.
Ure, tell us a little bit about that production. That was for colored girls who considered suicide when the rainbow is enough. Mm-hmm. And you were in that with a lot of very, very talented folks.
Very talented, yes. A great experience, lots of talented women in there. It was great working with just females. A purely female cast and purely ensemble, and it was collaborative and beautiful. This is the director. She helped us just really find a sisterhood that I think we brought to the stage that I really enjoyed.
The Department of Theater and Dance the Department of Theater has been on campus for more than 50 years. So we have a very rich history here on the campus. Dance joined us later, so now it is the Department of Theater and Dance. We have a very vibrant, rigorous dance program growing right alongside theater. The short clip that you showed of Ure actually earned her a nomination for KCACTF, which is the Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival that our program participates in every year. The sister to that in dance is ACDFA. So we are very proud of our students' work, and we get any chance we can to display it, not only on campus, but in the community. National level, we had some people make it to the national level, so we are out there doing many, many great things.
All right. Tell us a little bit about what you're studying here at Sac State.
Well, I'm a double major in theater and journalism, and a double minor in dance and musical theater. And honestly, it's just worked out perfectly for me because I love both of those things. I love the writing aspect in theater and acting, and then I love in journalism where you get to interview people and talk to people and collect information to serve the public. And I feel like theater and dance also does that. You serve an audience. And I don't know, it's just beautiful. I've had a great experience here.
And are you exhausted from, I know that I wanted to ask about the stamina aspect of our theater and dance students are almost like athletes. I mean, you are athletes, having to, do the productions. What about that? How do you keep it going?
I gotta admit, I have overbooked myself a couple of times before because I love theater and dance, and sometimes you gotta find ways to manage your time, and it is exhausting, but when you love it so much, and it's hard work, but it's worth it. At the end, when you see what you've done, when you see how you've grown, you've seen your progress, and you see what you've created, it's completely worth it.
And Dr. Wilson-Ramey, just briefly, for folks out there who are watching this, why should they support theater and dance in these programs?
Well, the simplest reason is because we do fabulous work, and you will get out of our work what we put into it. We are here to educate our students. We are here to encourage them. We are here to continue their growth, as Ure said. And Ure herself is one of those students who we've watched grow over the years and is coming into her own in ways we couldn't imagine. So we always offer a very diverse season. So there's typically something for everyone to enjoy and come in and be a part of what we call a family, because we do spend so many times, so many hours here that, it is our second home.
All right. Thank you both. Two very, very talented ladies.
Well, thank you for having us,
Thank you for
Glory.
being here. For more on the Department of Theater and Dance, you can visit our website at csus.edu/made/TV. And still to come, the One Book program.
I really liked it because it just put a lot of cultures into one room and just kind of broke down barriers.
I do think this is a good program. It's a great way to get students to communicate with each other when they don't necessarily know someone. You need an icebreaker, and it's a good way to get to know your faculty and staff a little bit better.
My name is Kim Gross. I'm studying communications, and I'm made at Sac State.
Hi, I'm Alex Manticon. I'm studying photography, and I'm at Sac State.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Gloria Moraga. Thank you for being here. Our One Book program, Sacramento State's One Book program, is wonderful. And we've got Sherry Meyer, the Associate Dean for Undergraduate Studies, and our student, John Kanemoto. John, describe the One Book program for someone who doesn't really know what it's about, and tell us about your experience.
What the One Book program really is an opportunity for students to embark on a common reader, a common ground, a common focus with other students. Opens up dialogue between students and their peers. And so what a One Book is essentially that dialogue, but then it's expanding into the curriculum of the first year seminar, which is housed under the first year experience programs within the Academic Advising Center. So my experience with the One Book actually is working with an author. The most notable experiences involved on a panel where actually I was the only student, so that was kind of interesting. So I was among distinguished faculty and staff, as well as the author of the One Book at the time, Julia Otsuka. She wrote Emperor Was Divine.
Wow, he's good.
He's exactly the model for what the program is supposed to do.
Tell us about the program and share a little bit about this program and the authors that come to Sac State and the books.
Sure. Well, our primary goal in establishing the program was twofold. One was to enhance literacies of all kinds, particularly multicultural literacies, as well as just giving people the opportunity to read books. But the second was to build community, which is why it's partly aimed at our first year students, who are our newest members of the Sac State community. And to give students the opportunity alongside staff and faculty and community members to interact in discussions that we hope will help inspire our students to acts of social justice. So when we talk to our future authors, we really are looking at authors who will engage our students in those dialogues. Three perfect stories that I was thinking of when I was planning for today. One was when we had Firuza Duma, our first author, who wrote Funny and Farsi. When she did her book signing, she would carefully read aloud each student's name and ask them if she had pronounced it correctly, because in her book she laughs about how no one could ever pronounce Firuza Duma correctly. So she empowered them to stand up and say, this is who I am, this is where I come from, this is my story, at the moment that they had their books signed.
We are going to put more information on the One Book program on our website so that everyone can learn a little bit more about this great program and how it engages our first year students, but all the students and the community.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
For more on the One Book program and more on the College of Arts and Letters, please log on to our website. It's csus.edu/made/TV. And are you ready for some top-notch jazz? It's coming up.
Hi, my name is Erish Hasuna. My major is electronic art and I made it at Sac State.
Hi, my name is Dan DeLeon. I'm an organizational and communication studies major and I made it at Sac State.
You are watching a video of Sacramento State's award-winning jazz ensemble. And joining us now is Professor Steve Roach, who is conductor of the Jazz Ensemble and director of Sacramento State's jazz program, and Carlos McCoy. Thank you for being here, Carlos. He's a student here at Sac State and plays saxophone. Okay, Professor, first tell us a little bit about the jazz program, and you began the program, and when and how did you do this?
Indeed, I came to Sac State in 2001. And in 2003, after designing the curriculum for the program, we launched the Bachelor of Music and Jazz Studies program. And since then, we've recorded numerous CDs of our vocal jazz ensembles, Latin band, combos, large ensembles, and proud to say that we've garnered 13 Downbeat Magazine Student Awards, 11 for the vocal jazz area and 2 for the instrumental area. And it's just been really a fun journey.
And tell us a little bit about the festivals and the things that you compete in. I mean, this is a nonstop, almost 24-hour-a-day
It really
project.
is. Our music students work especially hard, and two of the festivals that are regional that we enjoy participating in is the Reno Jazz Festival and the Monterey Next Generation Festival. So we get our students off campus performing in other venues in front of other adjudicators and trying to give them real-life experiences.
Now, Carlos McCoy, saxophonist and student, you're a grad student. Describe your Sac State experience and how it is working with Professor Roach, but all the professors and all the folks here at Sac State.
I think in comparison to my experience in other schools, I felt like when I came to Sac State, I was treated more like an individual, not just another student. And I found that the faculty was extremely supportive in all aspects of my studies here, from choosing classes to kind of shaping your career goals. Steve's been, extremely supportive, and also in terms of performing, it's been a challenging program. We have, like Steve mentioned, the opportunity to perform in a lot of festivals and competitions, and we also get the opportunity to perform with a lot of the greats as guest artists when they come in. So it's been really exciting.
We don't want to let you go without talking a little bit about our jazz singers and the jazz program. What can you tell us about our jazz singers?
They're absolutely outstanding. The program's led by Carrie Marsh and assisted by one of our grad students, Gao Vang. And as I mentioned earlier, they've garnered 11 Downbeat magazine awards, student magazine awards for their talent and skills, and really put us on the map as far as a destination school for vocal jazz. It's been really amazing.
All right. We thank you both so much for taking time out of your busy schedules and your grad studies for coming here and joining us on Made at Sac State.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
For more on the music department, you can log on to our website. It's csus.edu/made/TV. And still to come, another gem from our music department, Camerata Capistrano. Take a listen.
I'm Alex Gonzalez, president of the university, and we're proud of all of our students who are made at Sac State.
Thank you for spending some time with us in the College of Arts and Letters. We look forward to exploring more of our colleges and sharing the Made at Sac State story. We leave you with the sounds of Sacramento State's Baroque Ensemble, Camerata Capistrano, and scenes from our beautiful campus.